What's up everybody, this is Mark PPG from allaboutmybb.com. What we're going to do today is we're going to go over the initial setup of a BlackBerry. With the holidays just passing, there are a lot of brand new BlackBerry users out there, and a lot of them can be quite confused and do a lot of searching on the internet about how to set them up properly. So what we're going to talk about are the icons, what some of the icons mean, how we can move them around, make them a little more to our liking. So the first thing you're going to see when you fire up your BlackBerry after you've gone through the setup is there are kind of two screens here. This is kind of the initial screen, and it's got 6 icons along the bottom here. You'll see this is the messages folder. These are a couple of email folders for the email addresses that we've created. This is our SMS and MMS folder, and our this is our contacts and our calendar. And what happens is when you press the BlackBerry button, the menu key, it shifts to a second screen which shows kind of all of our icons, not just the first 6. So what we're going to do here is I've left these all arranged as they were once we fired the unit up from the beginning. And one of the weird things that I've found a bit disturbing is BBM is such a large part of the BlackBerry experience these days, yet they lock BBM up inside the instant messaging folder. So the first thing I always do when I help somebody set up their new BlackBerry is I move it to the home screen where it belongs. So what you do is you highlight, you'll see we've got Yahoo Messenger and Google Talk and BBM. So what we do is we hit the menu key and we go down to move to folder. And those are all the different folders that are on the BlackBerry right now. We're going to select home because I think that's where it belongs. So now it's moved here to the bottom of the screen. What I like to do is have it available in on the first screen. So what we'll do now is we'll select move and we'll scroll up and we'll put it inside the first 6 icons at the very top. And what this will do is it'll allow it to be seen on the first screen. There it is right there. So now that we've moved that out, the other thing that I like to do just to avoid confusion is to hide some of these icons. A lot of the carriers ship their BlackBerries with these little shortcuts. That's the best thing I can describe them as, is that, you know, this one's for getting new games, this one's for getting new apps. I don't like them. They don't really serve a purpose for new users especially. So what I like to do is I like to hide them. So you hit the menu key and you go down to hide and it'll disappear. I've got everything on here, show all, which is why everything's showing up. But basically what I do is I hide the stuff that I don't really want to see. I don't really like the search feature on OS 5. Anyways, on OS 6 it's awesome. But here, this is a Rogers app called My Account, which you have to set up, so I'm going to get rid of that one as well. So what you can see is we can get rid of a lot of these different icons on our desktop just to make it a little less overwhelming, so to speak. The 2 email address folders that you see here, they automatically default into the messages folder. I've got my wife's 8520 here, so I'm not going to open up the message folders. I'm just going to kind of show you. But what my wife likes is she likes all her messages coming into the messages folder. So what we usually end up doing is we hide the SMS folder and the email folders, as I showed you earlier, and they all go into the messages folder. So whenever she receives a new email to either one of these accounts or an SMS or an MMS, they all go into the messages folder. The messages folder can also catch messages from Facebook, Twitter, BBM, and basically the way you do that is inside each of these programs, you go down to options by hitting the menu key again. You go into options, and basically what you do is there will be a button here that will allow you, there you go, show chats in messages application. You'll see I have it unchecked because my wife doesn't like her BBMs going in that folder. She only likes her emails all going into that folder. But if you check that off, I believe that's how it comes default, is checked off so that it goes into the messages. Again, my wife likes it turned off. So this option will be available in Facebook, Twitter, and BBM. Some third-party apps also have the ability to go into the messages application as well. So what that allows you to do is it allows you to hide quite a few icons because you'll see them in the messages folder. We're going to save that as we leave. So let's go over a few of the other icons real quick here. You've got your calendar app, your browser, your media. Inside your media, you've got music, you've got videos, you've got pictures, you've got ringtones, voice notes, which is kind of like a voice recorder that you can send via BBM or email. You've got your video camera and the voice notes recorder. So what you can do is you can actually browse through your pictures and choose a picture for your desktop, for your background. So the BlackBerry comes loaded with all kinds of photographs. What you can do is you click on the one that you like, you hit the BlackBerry button, and you go down here and it says set as wallpaper. You do that, you escape using the back key, you go out and you'll see that that picture has now become our background. You can do that for any picture, it doesn't matter. You can take one with your camera and then you can set that as your desktop if you like. If we carry on, we've got BlackBerry Maps. Now, browser and maps you may or may not have depending on the data package that you have on your phone. Some of the social networking packages don't allow BlackBerry Maps or the browser because you've only got limited BBM data, Twitter, Facebook, that kind of thing. Your camera, again, pretty straightforward. App World, if you have it, that'll allow you to browse through and pick up all kinds of free apps. And here you'll see it's loading. You basically, if you don't want to buy anything, you go to top free and it'll show you everything that's available for free download anyways. You can just pick the one you want, you download it. Oh, it's telling me there's an update. We'll do that later. There's one thing that a lot of people don't know about is the app switching abilities here. We're having a little problem getting out of App World, but by holding down the menu key, you'll bring up this window and it'll show you every application that is open that you can quickly switch amongst. You'll see my wife keeps Vigo open all the time to read her news articles. I'm going to switch over to my torch. Now on my torch, you'll see it's kind of it still looks very BlackBerry-ish. However, we're running, this has got OS 6 on it, which is slightly different just because we've got all these tiles and things. I usually run a different theme, so forgive me if I don't look like I really, I'm very used to this OS 6. I run a plain theme with no slides. So basically it's the same thing here. You'll see all the icons. Everything applies as far as hiding an icon goes. You can hide it if you want to. And when you want to see them all the stuff that you've hidden, you just, again, you go show all and you can see all the stuff that I've already hidden, all my emails. Everything goes into the messages folder. I'm going to unhide my music folder because that's one of my favorite things. There you go. You uncheck hide. And then we're going to uncheck show all. There, and then you can see all this other stuff that I've got down here basically. Everything else works the same. It's the same setup with the icons and messages and everything else. Moving in between folders, everything is identical. It's just a slightly different user experience with the trackpad and the touch screen and the ability to slide these panes up and down. That's pretty much the only difference between OS 5 and OS 6. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch back to the 8520. It's feeling a little better now. And basically the only other things we've got down here is we've got the instant messaging folder. Now my wife doesn't use any of the other instant messaging apps, so we can hide that one real quick. Sorry, hide. Applications, there's a little piddly things in here, memo pad, tasks, calculator, files. Files is just kind of an explorer. You have the ability to go through all your files on your media card. My wife has a media card in here. You'll see she's got lots of music on her phone as well. Here you've got device memory and media card. You'll see we can go through music and pictures and all the stuff that's stored on our media card. Voice dialing, and that was one thing that I wanted to show you because a lot of new BlackBerry users complain about the voice dialing where it says say a command. There is a way, and I'm going to show you, if you go into options and screen and keyboard if you scroll down screen and keyboard, you'll see here it says right side convenience key. Now I've changed this for my wife. The default is camera, obviously on the right hand side, but on the left hand side I've changed it from voice dialing to music. So now every time you hit the button on the side, it actually will launch the music instead of the voice dial where it says say a command. Real simple, quick thing that a lot of people don't necessarily figure out how to use right away. Games, comes shipped with 2 games, Brick Breaker, which is really addicting, and Word Mole is my wife's favorite game. Downloads is basically all the stuff that you download on your BlackBerry will end up in this folder unless you move it somewhere else. Now you can see my wife's got Food Network, and there's pool and chess, and solitaire is my wife's other favorite. I've got a couple other apps that I keep locked in here. And setup. Setup was the place where you ran your initial setup. It puts the setup wizard in this folder here. You can see its time zones and all your selections that you originally did. The other thing is here is Wi-Fi. This 8520 has obviously got Wi-Fi, no GPS, just a Wi-Fi. And when you want to add a Wi-Fi network, you basically go in here, scroll down, you say next, and you do a scan. Now it's going to go, you'll see that it's connected to my home network. Basically, once you find one, all you do is you click on it and then enter the key if it's a secure network, and if it's an unsecured network, you can just connect right up to it. And we've got your email settings, which is where you would go in if you're going to add an email address or remove that pesky sent from my BlackBerry wireless message at the end of your emails. You can do that in here. I'm not going to open this up because this is going to show you my wife's email address. And this is set up of Bluetooth, where you click in here and you'll do search for a new device or listen for a new device, and then go through the connection process for a Bluetooth headset or a Bluetooth speaker or anything along those lines. And I think that's about all we're going to do. Sounds. I'll do a little more in-depth one, I think, on this one at a later date, but for now, your sound profiles are preset from the factory. You've got a whole bunch of them here. Most of them come shipped with normal. You can adjust all these sounds, but that's, as I said, that's probably for another day. But for now, if you want to select either normal or vibrate or silent when you go to bed or phone calls only, you can just click on those. There's one quick way I'm going to show you to switch between your current profile and vibrate, as by holding the Q button down. You'll see there it's changed to vibrate. If I hold it again, it'll go back to normal again. That's just one of those quick little tips. The other one obviously is holding down number 1 to access your voicemail. I'm not sure if everybody knows about that, but you can just press and hold number 1 and it'll automatically dial your voicemail. Anyways, I think that's it for today. I think let me know how this all goes. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at allaboutmybb. And check out the blog. There's lots of tips and tricks, lots of posts on the blog. That's www.allaboutmybb.com. All right, thanks a lot.